It's the Uprising.
What's happening? This is Pack, and I'm with Adam Lumley, and this is the Uprising. What's going on?
Oh man, not much. We had a little bit of a couple weeks not having the show. Pack has been a little bit of health scare, but he's good now. And we just had been busy doing interviews and everything else. But we're back. So we're going to be talking about a couple of topics. Why are people moving to the left, especially millennials and Zoomers? And how can we get more people on the left as well? We're going to talk about Trump's goon squads terrorizing people of Portland and trying to do it in other cities. Trump's election chances, we're going to kind of tie that with him trying to move the election that he did yesterday. He tweeted that out yesterday. We're going to talk about cancel culture and how it's kind of hurting our current situation, and it might hurt our future situation. And our last topic will be conspiracy theories with the doctors about the demon sperm and all the other complete nonsense that those
Exciting.
doctors were talking about. So, alrighty, man, it's just every week is this kind of like we're in a constant tailspin of insaneness. But let's get some good news out of the way first. So the younger, especially the younger generation, has been really left, especially the Zoomers. They're even more left than Pack and I are. they're socialists. They're full on socialist communists, and Pack and I are just social democrats. So they're way more left than we are, which is good. Finally have some more, bring our country more left again. We're such a right-wing country now that it's ridiculous. Pretty much every president since pretty much FDR has been center or right-wing or alt-right, essentially. So we're a very right-wing country, despite what Fox News wants to tell you. If Bernie Sanders is fairly moderate when it comes to European standards. He says that he's a democratic socialist, but his policies aren't really democratic socialist because that's in a socialist economic situation scenario, and he's more of a social democrat, which is still in a capitalist scenario with socialism intertwined in it. So we have people moving more left, which is good, but we need to have more people move left, and we need to build this bigger coalition of people that want to have a just society in this country. And we need to, Pack and I and everyone else on the left needs to convince the people that are gettable. Now you can't get the fucking drummers that just brainwashed and you're wasting your time. They're too far gone. 121 Spiritual and I were talking about, he was saying that pretty much everyone's gettable. I politely disagree with that. Some people you cannot get. You're wasting your breath. White supremacists, alt-right drummers, you're not going to get those people. But the people that aren't politically active might say this on the left or might say that on the right or just don't really know or don't really care. One, we need to get those people because politics is the most important thing really in most people's lives, honestly, because it affects everyone. This pandemic should tell everyone that, politics matters. So we got to figure out how to get those people over and convince them that being social democratic socialism, or even farther left of that, is more applicable for the future of this country. We just got to figure out how to do that and have the patience to do that, because some people are very misinformed, very, I'm trying not to be rude, but brainwashed,
And stuck in their ways.
stuck in the ways. So I'm trying to figure that out myself. How do you think we can move people to the left back?
Well, I'd like to think it's as easy as just shaking them, but obviously that's not going to work. I think that, like, what I think would be a good approach is, like, when it comes to Republican people in power, like official government Republicans, okay, they know the deal, they know what they're doing, and they know how they're treating their voters. The way they spin it to make the voters feel like they're doing everything for them and that everybody else is against them is so insane, and it's stuck for so long. I really think if we sit down with the voters, if we talk with the voters, I mean, like you said, the ones that are susceptible to facts and truth and logic, um, would sit down and have a decent conversation and see what policies we would agree on. We might not agree on, you might like this person more than this person. You might say, oh, I don't like Nick Cage, but I like Will Ferrell. Now I'm name dropping.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying they might not like somebody because of who they are, but that really doesn't matter. All that matters is their policies and what they're going to do for you once they're in office.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if we sit down and talk with voters and we talk policy, and I think we could find middle grounds, because I believe there's a lot of Republican voters who are a little more progressive than they know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason they don't know how progressive they are is because they're being taught that being progressive is wrong.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so it's one of those things where I feel like on a one-on-one basis, like if I talk to a Republican voter, I'm pretty sure we can find middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
But when you try to talk to somebody who's already got it set in their brain that this is the way it is and this is how it is, and they're so far gone, they've drunk the Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no helping those people. Not saying that they can't be helped at all, but you can't help them the way you can people you can talk to. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you're trying to tell somebody something and they already don't want to listen to you, then you're not going to get through to them. Yeah. But I'd like to think the majority of Republican voters would actually sit down, listen, and have a conversation, about the differences and what's really going on, without the media and all that kind of diluting and making it their own thing. That's what I think. I think reaching out to the voters and actually having discussions and saying, hey, these are some policies. Let's see if you agree with them. And then once they agree with them, say, well, do you realize that these are all progressive policies? So maybe you might want to rethink where you're standing. So,
yeah.
But that's my hope.
Yeah. We just we need to figure out a way of having a razor focus on convincing people that the Democrat or Republican common voter is not your enemy.
I'm sorry, that music was playing this whole time and I didn't know it.
Yeah, it's fine. I can still hear you. But the ruling elite, which I talk about a lot on our Instagram page, make sure you subscribe. I talk about them a lot because they, one, don't give a shit about anyone other than themselves, and two, they have this discord and they make sure the discord is toxic and takes away from the main issue, is because they've been screwing us so long. The working class, the working poor, the middle class, they've been screwing us so long, and we're too focused on finding each other, and they're just making more and more money. So your average blow smoke Republican or Democrat is not your enemy. It's we might have certain disagreements and certain differences, which is fine. Now there are definitely lines that you cannot cross in my eyes, but we definitely need to figure out the people that are gettable and have a razor focus on those people and get them to our side. So that's kind of all I have to say right now about that. We're gonna definitely talk about that more in the future. So, do you have anything else to say about that, Pack?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a hard nut to crack, man, because you know you've got people that are already like his core, Trump's core group. I don't even think they really identify as Republican. I think they really don't care what you call them. The good news is most of the people who are that far gone, only a small percentage of them are actual voters.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew? So if you actually are reaching out to the people who are a little, more intelligent, or will at least have a conversation with you, those are more likely going to be the people who are going to go vote.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like the reason like we have these issues is because really like the media has been pushing false narratives. That
Mm-hmm.
there's so much propaganda, and people are so gullible that they believe, like, hey, I'm watching TV and they're telling me this is what's going on. It must be true, you
Yeah.
know. But it's one of those things where you got to talk to people. You got to let them you got to hold the mirror up and be like, look at yourself. And are you happy with this? Is this what you think is really going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, but, but yeah, I hope that even like watching this, I hope that I've got some conservative friends who, just because I'm on a show, they will watch it, and maybe some of the stuff that I say, they will agree with.
Yeah. And we could kind of tie that in with the cancel culture uh, topic as well. So, um, cancel culture, if you're not aware, you certain people say some stupid things. Well, a lot of people get angry and try to remove them from, especially in power. I don't necessarily have a problem with people that are in power getting removed to say stupid things, but if a normal blow smoke person says stupid things, like, it's different because they have no power,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them don't even know better, honestly. So I have a lot more empathy for them than your politicians or celebrities or other things like that. And again, we you can have sympathy with them as well. People say stupid things in their lives, especially in their past, and people grow, and some people don't grow, and well, that's different. But that's the thing. I think this whole cancel culture topic that's been going around the left and our topic, our conversation as a country is really taken away from the more important things at hand of getting police reform and getting other things as well. So we got to be able to figure out what is acceptable in that situation, was not acceptable to ruin people's lives. They I'll give you an example. So this lady, she was like a, I don't, worked like from a firm or something. I don't fully remember, but she went to this party and she wore blackface as a costume party, and she wore blackface, which is stupid. And she she got kicked out of the party and by her other colleagues, and she felt really bad. She had therapy about it as well. And recently, the it's either the New York Times or the Washington Post, one of those organizations, ran a piece about her and pretty much ruined this woman's life. And that's cancel culture that is toxic. That's just a normal lady. She's not a politician. She's not a celebrity. She has no power. Like, stuff like that's completely unnecessary.
Right. I feel like when things like that happen, like, oh, they did blackface and they do a story and they're like, hey, this is what happened, then it leaves it up to everyone else to
Mm-hmm.
make a decision of I'm not going to support that person or I am going to support. You see what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
going to forgive them or I'm not going to forgive them. It's really simple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, but to go out of your way, you see what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
feel like you're trying to put a spotlight on yourself or you're trying to be some kind of authoritarian on something.
Yeah.
Not that, you know, things happen. You've got a job where you know, you work and you have sexual harassment. Well, that comes out now. How everyone treats you is part of it. You kind of deserve it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
But when you have these other people who are like sectioning out, like let's get everybody together and let's make sure that this happens to them or that they never do this again. Like,
Mm-hmm.
take that energy and go vote.
Yeah.
Take that energy and do anything else
Mm-hmm.
because well, you know, it's come to the light. Well, we've had our own little thing here in Tulsa.
Yeah.
And when things come to the light, you got two decisions. You can still support that person, you can forgive them, or you can not support them.
Yeah.
Or you could go out of your way to make sure that he has no business, he can't do any future, he can't apologize, he can't ever come back from whatever they've done wrong, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole cancel culture thing, I just feel like it's just a whole bunch of little warriors, little thumb warriors like this,
Yeah.
you know, and they're like, you know, what can I do to you know, put myself on the front line and let me get involved. And like, why you don't put that energy into anything else? Like there's a virus, there's people dying, there's all this other stuff going on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, especially when it's just like regular citizens, like you say, they have no power, you know, like a lot of people make mistakes. A lot of people do stupid shit and, you know,
Say stupid shit and
they say stupid shit and, you know, like there's no excuse for dressing
yeah.
up in blackface and going to a party. But
No.
like you said, she's got to deal with, now everybody knows that about you and she's
Mm-hmm.
going to have to deal with that for the rest of her life. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
why you would want to pile stuff on top of people, but you know, that's the world we live in, man, where everybody's trying to get involved in a lot of other stuff, which I understand sometimes, but like there's so much other stuff you could be putting your energy into that could actually make positive change.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Now we're gonna move our conversation to Trump having federal agents in Portland. Wanted to expand that to
the Goon Squad.
yeah, yeah, and expanding that to other cities in the country. So recently, President Trump has expanded with the Department of Homeland Security to have federal agents protect the federal building in Portland because it's been getting initially it was, now it's been completely gone out of control, but initially the reason why the DHS was sent to Portland, now this is what they say, sent to Portland because people were spray painting the federal building and breaking some windows. So yes, I don't agree with people breaking windows, spray painting, and destruction of property is not acceptable, especially when it comes to federal buildings. But that's a local police issue. That is not a federal issue. So, and them doing that was really worried me because, again, that is a local issue in my eyes, not a federal one. And the the and it's really against the Constitution because the state government and the local government doesn't want them there, and they're doing it anyway. So that worries me, as well as it worries me that Trump. I have a cricket in my parents' house. If you're wondering what that noise is.
Only a Republican cricket would interrupt you, bro. We know where his vote's going.
Yeah, no kidding. Give me 1 second.
No problem. Kill it. Kill it dead. You're going to have to turn that down, son. Daddy's doing a podcast. I got a cricket too. It sounds like Paw Patrol.
Okay, sorry. I hate cricket with a passion.
There we go. Cancel culture. Cancel the cricket.
So he wants to do this in other cities, and he's been trying to do it in other cities, and he's kind of already doing it in other cities. And his justification in different cities like Chicago, for instance, is crime wave is out of control, people dying. But then again, people has been doing that problem has been going on for years now. And then the civilizations in there kind of worries me as well. That problem when it comes to violence in low income areas is more have to do with lack of opportunity when it comes to jobs and lower education more than really anything else. All these big cities have humongous police budgets, and a lot of them have insane crime as well. So, and a lot of them don't budget their schools, don't give the schools enough budget and career opportunities as well. So, I think it's a ploy to try to get certain people to vote for Trump, and I don't think it's going to work. And it does worry me because it sets a precedent. And I know if Trump's going to try to do this, but who knows if future president going to use that as well to do even more tyrannical things. So I don't support that. I don't think that we should have federal troops in our cities unless said city and said local government wants them there. How do you feel about this?
I think that other presidents have done stuff similar where they know they're on their way out. So what's one way to keep you going? Well, you gotta have war, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not gonna have war but his train of thought, he's such a moron. And yeah, I said it, at me, bro. He's such a moron that he's like, well, I can't go to war with anybody else to keep me, to try to get my ratings back up. So what I'm going to do is I want to go to war with American citizens. What a dumbass. So he's sending in troops. There's people snatching people off the streets, putting them in unmarked vehicles and driving off. Like, what in the fucking fascism is going on? Like, nobody, like, people are saying, I don't want to wear my mask because it violates my rights. What about the rights of the American citizens that got put in an unmarked car and drove to wherever? You know what I mean? Like, so he's doing everything he can. He's already setting up the voter suppression shit because he's like, well, if they use the ballots, it's going to be, this election is going to be rigged. It's not going to be fair. But he's already setting it up now for November. You can watch his interviews and you can see what he's doing. All right. He's very blatant, but he's very stupid. Mm-hmm. And so you can see, like, from this authoritarian, like, I'm sending in troops. I send in troops to Portland and like, yes, I kind of like, we're on two different things as far as like peaceful protests. Yes, I believe that there should be peaceful protests. I don't want things to go into violence and riots and stuff. But at the same time, I know that is usually what has to happen for change. I mean, you look at Martin Luther King got killed. We had 7 months of rioting, looting, and protesting before we got the Civil Rights Act. So I don't agree with it, but I do know that it's necessary for change. The only problem is we got this jackass in office, and instead of listening to the people, he's sending troops to go get them. Mm-hmm. And so we've got military policing United States citizens. Mm-hmm. And so that's where the problem lies in. If this was another president and there was this stuff going on, it would be like, look, we need to sit down, we need to talk, we need to see what's going on and how we can change things. But he is ready to go to war with anyone who doesn't agree with him.
Yeah.
And if that's the way he's going to go out, that's what he's, I mean, he can't even answer the question if he, you know, about him having to be forced to leave. Like, if you lose, you're going to leave? I don't know. We'll have to see. What does that mean? That means probably not. It means he's probably holding on to the desk. You know, they're trying to take him out.
Yeah. Which is a great segue to our next topic. Is yesterday morning the president tweeted that he wants to try to move the election because of mail-in voting and fraudulent of that mail-in voting, even though there's no real evidence for that.
Yeah.
He's worried about the election integrity, which is kind of wrenching my eyes.
He's saying that. He's saying that that's what he's worried about. And then the people that go on the media to speak for him, they're like, well, he just wants everyone to be safe, you know, with the virus.
Yeah.
Like, no, he doesn't. He's trying to send everyone's kids back to school. He doesn't care about, he gets tested 50 times a day. Everybody that's around him is tested 50 times a day. His kids ain't going back to school, but he wants to send your kids back to school. Yeah. And the voter suppression thing, it's I mean, it's been going on here for a long time. He's just way more out front and blatant with it. You know, that's where you get that separate, where you'll get people who are like, is he really doing this? Like us, like, is he doing this really? And then you get the people who are his core who are like, yeah, he's doing this. And there's no gray area. You know what I mean? I just go back 4 years ago thinking to my friends that were like, you know, give him a chance. We did. He fucked it up.
Yeah.
Day one.
Yeah, no kidding. And I think a lot of people just okay with fascism as long as it's their guy, and you know, that's terrifying to think.
God help us, man.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, so let's talk about his election chances. So he's trying to, either he's an idiot, which I think he is, so he doesn't even know that he can't move the election, or he's just trying to sow discord. And if he's trying to sow discord, it's going to work, because it's going to be a lot of people thinking it's voting fraud and illegals are voting, aliens are voting, or
Soros and Pelosi got demon semen and they have rigged the election with it. It's all over the voting ballots.
Okay, we're gonna have to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped that, didn't I?
Yeah, we're not ready for that.
Sorry,
we're not ready for that yet.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
it's
the core of the problem. That's why he's setting it up now. He's like, I'm going to say that this is what's going on, so that when it happens in November, my core is going to be like, yeah, they rigged it against them, you know, because of the paper ballot thing, because, you know, dead people vote.
Yeah. So there hasn't been enough evidence to say that it's been a lot of election fraud in our history, recent country. So
nobody's taken Bernie weekend at Bernie's up there to vote.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Mostly it's kind of ridiculous. I understand certain aspects. It does worry me a little bit, but not to the degree to move the election.
The suppression is real.
Yeah.
The voter suppression is real. That's a
Yeah.
real thing, and
Closing
that's what he's doing.
closing polling places. That Kentucky situation complete, just like blatant voter suppression when it came to the Senate election a couple weeks ago with Charles Booker and Amy McGrath. So that's voter suppression like to a T. So yeah, they're gonna try to do anything they can to stay in power, and that's the problem. So I don't right now. If we voted next week, Trump would lose. He would get landslided, and the Democrats would keep the House, and they would keep the Senate. That's your gain the Senate. I'm sorry. So they're panicking. I think a lot of people are panicking when it comes to the current administration, when it comes to the president and the Republican leaders. I think they know that their time is kind of limited right now. So uh, now things could change. Joe Biden's a terrible candidate. They haven't had any debates. Something crazy might happen. So we don't know yet. But right now, Joe Biden will become our president. And I think Trump needs to get removed. So I guess I'm fine with it. I'm not voting for Joe Biden. Either I'm going to leave it blank or vote for the libertarian thing like I did last election. I haven't decided what I want to do on that end yet. But yeah, I'm not voting for Joe Biden. But when it comes to swing states and you want Trump out, well, you really have one other choice. And no one really likes Joe Biden. Well, most people don't like Joe Biden, but he's what we have right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm not really feeling like I want to vote for Joe Biden at all, but I do want to vote against Trump. And it's not going to be a good decision for me when I go in there. I'm going to go in there, make the decision, and then I'm probably going to go take a shower because I'm going to feel so filthy. But no, I think that, I mean, the only grain of hope with Biden is that anybody in the progressive side of the party can get through to his ass, and that's just a big, that they're not going to get through to Trump though. So I mean, you have a better chance of getting through to Biden, no matter how wrong he is. Trump is still more wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been tossing it back and forth this whole time. You already know how it is with me.
Yeah, I know.
I haven't been able to vote in 15 years.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is my first time voting, and I have to vote for Biden. And so.
Well, you don't have to vote for Biden.
Well, I know.
Not in this state.
No, it doesn't matter here. I know it doesn't.
Yeah. The reason why I voted for Gary Johnson in 2016 is because I despise the Clintons more. I probably despise Trump. And I wasn't going to vote for either one of them. So I voted for Gary Johnson, even though I thought he was an idiot. The reason why is because if a third party gets 5% of the general election vote, then they get federal funding. And that will open up more discord when it comes to, and not necessarily a two-party system, more of a 3 or 4-party system, which we need in this country. So that's the rationale why I'm probably going to vote for the Libertarian candidate. But I haven't decided yet. If Joe Biden starts moving a little bit more left, maybe I'll vote for him. I haven't decided on that yet.
They're trying to just keep him like, don't say anything, don't do anything.
Which is smart.
It's smart because as long as he doesn't, he'll win.
Yeah.
The only thing that can mess him up is himself.
Yeah.
Because the bar is on the ground. You know what I mean? And it's not going to be that hard, especially with all this other stuff going on. It's not going to be that hard to beat him unless Biden does something insane. And I mean, not insane like Trump insane because he couldn't reach that level of insanity. But I mean something that's just insane enough for people to say, look at him. Look what he said. Conservatives especially have a way of pointing their finger at somebody for doing something wrong. They've got three fingers pointing back at them because they're doing way worse stuff.
Yeah.
So
Republican hypocrisy is never ending.
Yeah. Did you just? I just did get a little news flash alert. I don't know if this. So the Senate is. I know this is off subject. The Senate is adjourns without expiring unemployment benefits. They've adjourned until 3 p.m. on Monday, and Congress has failed to reach an agreement on extending unemployment benefits that are set to expire on Friday. So that means tens of millions of people who are out of work, who've been receiving that payment, won't even get the $200, the one that they were talking about because they still haven't came to an agreement.
Yeah, the American government has completely failed its people. I saw that last night.
It's failing on it's continuously failing us.
And I say the government, I mean both parties, not just the Republicans, both parties.
Yeah, I just say establishment because the establishment to me covers
both parties.
Both parties,
And I've been disappointed in the progressive left as well. They haven't had any backbone. They got rolled the first time and likely going to get rolled again. A bit of that is they just don't have enough power, and we need to put more people in office to have that ideology, because when it comes to politics, it's, if you want to get things done, it's, do you have a strong enough and organized group of people to get those things done? That's one of the reasons why you can get as much as you want done. Like the instance in the first stimulus plan, like all these special interests got as much as they want because they're well funded and they know what they want and they get what they want. So if the left wants certain things that we want, we need to get more people in power and we need to get more organized. So that's a bigger discussion that we don't really have time for. Our last one is gonna be conspiracy. Conspiracy theories, and why I, for the most part, despise them, because for the most part, a little bit of grain of truth for a lot of them, with a whole lot of bullshit wrapped around it.
That's it.
So if you're not aware, I don't know how you wouldn't be aware, these doctors, they're technically doctors, so I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but doctors say they have a cure for the Rona with that medicine that the president has been trying to get everyone to take for months now. Even though that's nonsense, it makes everything worse. Actual studies have said that, trials and everything have said that it makes it worse or it doesn't do anything. So she supposedly, I can't remember her name, and I'm not going to give her credit not going to give her attention, but she said she's cured 350 people with her trials. I love to see those people and talk to them.
Exactly.
Or hear them talk.
If they talk.
So the president and Don Jr. retweeted a Breitbart article about these doctors' studies about the hydroxychloroquine, or however you said that.
Yeah, hydroxychloroquine.
There you go. Its effects, and saying that it's the cure to the Rona and people not taking it, and we shouldn't wear masks and a whole lot of other nonsense. So, one, that doesn't really have any scientific evidence from ethical people and credible people. So, a lot of people wanted to believe this woman. Now, let's go into who this woman is and what she believes personally. So, she is technically a doctor and she is a minister as well. So,
Amen.
a lot of crazy things she said. So, she says that there's demon sperm. There, people get I can't remember exactly what it is, but
Oh, I got it all, man.
okay, go
So,
ahead. Sorry.
So,
Go ahead.
so
Yeah.
in her world, let me just explain this in layman's terms. In her world, right? When you go to sleep, there's a dream world. And in this dream world, demons, horny demons, are everywhere, just waiting to put sperm in you. If that don't make you never want to go to sleep, nothing will. So there's demons, there's witches, there's warlocks, there's probably ghouls and goblins. Who knows? She made this insane video. Breitbart posted it. Trump and his son retweeted it. Then they had a meeting with all these other doctors. She was by herself. They gathered up all these other doctors who's like, oh yeah, mask and this and that. You're always going to find people who disagree with truth and facts. It doesn't matter what job position they have.
Mm-hmm.
So then they get them all together. They get her all dressed up, get her lab coat on. Everybody's got to have their lab coats on so it looks official. And then they have this summit. They had a whole summit. It's called the, what is it? The American Freedom Doctors, something insane. I watched the whole summit just because, like, I watch horror movies. I like watching scary stuff that's not real.
Yeah, I didn't. That's why you know a lot more about this than I know. Because like, oh, okay, demon sperm. Like,
so
yeah,
she's out of her mind. Okay, and I believe in God. I'd like to think I'm a Christian. So to me, she's a horrible representation of a Christian person because she's pushing a false narrative, and it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous that even my liberal friends were reposting her videos on Facebook, and then I just got to show the screenshot. So they're reposting her videos on Facebook, and then they're like, it must be real because Facebook is taking it down, the government, this and that. And I'm like, no, man, the reason you're getting this is because it has been deemed false information. Okay? It's right there for you to read, guys. So the reason you can't keep reposting their videos because everyone found out this is not good information. It's false. And you posting it without checking your sources makes you look like an insane ghost sperm dodging person. Okay. So it's just, it's crazy that this is all it takes. I love a good conspiracy as much as anybody else. You know what I mean? I entertain the facts, okay? But this was certifiably insane. Like it's crazy. They would take that and then be like, oh yeah, no, they're trying to silence her. No, they're not. They're giving her a platform. Nobody knew who she was. They're not silencing her. They're giving her a megaphone to spew out this false information. They've gathered up other people who agree with her. So you've got, what, 20 doctors? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
mind you that this is largely funded by the Freedom Caucus, like the Extreme Freedom Caucus, to try to get Trump elected. So if you're sharing and you're agreeing with this woman's insane thoughts, well, you're aligning yourself with the president if you're not aware of that.
Exactly.
So, well, there you are. So there's conspiracies and there's conspiracy theories. They're completely different.
Right.
Conspiracies are probably right. Conspiracy theories, on the other hand,
they're just it's so much that it's like, come on, man. Like, yeah. Now if somebody came out and they were like, hey, I've got some information about COVID, You see what I'm saying? Now that might hit you a lot different than the lady who thinks that ghosts are having sex with you in your sleep.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is
you think you got enough worrying about your significant other being faithful to you when you leave the house. How you gonna feel if you found out that they were really having sex with ghosts behind your back? I'm just being stupid. But no, it's like, how can you, like, you watch this? How can you watch this insanity and be like, she knows what she's talking about? I think I believe her.
because people
it's
want
beyond me, man.
A bit of it is people want to think that they're the smartest people. Like, they know secrets that no one else knows.
Now I know it because they told me.
Like,
we're gonna catch these demons.
They're like they're trying to keep they don't want the truth out.
Yeah.
So they're
demons been having sex with us in our sleep for years and nobody said nothing. She's brave enough to say something. So those are the people, like earlier I said, you can't talk to them. It's just, they're too gone.
Yeah, you can't have conversations with those people because like they're living in a different universe, unfortunately, and they sorry, I'm getting my schedule for work. Give me 1 second. They're living in a different universe, and you just can't reason with certain people, and unfortunately that's the case. That's all I got to say about demon sperm and witches and ghouls and goblins.
I hate we had to end it on that.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah. We only get one of these where you can end on demon sperm, and this is it. Now I've got to go take a shower because I just feel like, you know, I was asleep before we did this show, and so I'm just feeling, I don't know what was going on because I can't remember my dreams because of the meds I'm taking.
Yeah.
So whatever.
So thank you for watching. This is the Uprising. You want to make sure to comment, subscribe, like our page. Really appreciate everything you all do for us.
And share it.
Of course.
All right.
It's the Uprising.